It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Oil Stream. Nielsen and Gazzola with you. It is game day. Oilers and Kings. Huge game. Late start tonight down at Rogers Place. Second half of an American doubleheader, I would assume. And that must be why Tommy is wearing the beautiful vest today, buddy. Looking good.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to keep the suit jacket on for the three-piece, but way too hot. I hustled from the rink over here. I walked through McEwen because it's cold today. And I'm sweating. I'm going to be honest with you. I am a sweaty mess under this shirt and vest. But yes, when the national shows come on, I like to kiss ass as best as possible. And there's no better way to do that than with your best suit.
I don't own the three-piece. I've got like 14 suits now, but I don't have one with a vest, buddy. What do you tell me about the vest? What's the vest feel like?
It's nice. Like, it feels good. It really does. I don't wear it very often, but I have a couple of other vests that don't necessarily go with a particular suit, but I haven't worn those in a while. And this one is a three-piece. And I was like, yeah, today feels like the right day to bust it out. You know what's weird too, is I was thinking about this because I got another new suit. I was thinking about wearing it on Saturday. It's the late game. Golden Knights are in town. I really like their media and broadcast crew. Yeah. Saturday night feels like a big night.
That's a suit night right there.
That's a suit night. But with those 2:00 starts, which it isn't, thankfully, those ones feel way more casual. It's very quiet in the press box on those game days. And like you dress down a little bit. I still go with like a blazer, sport coat, and tie and stuff. But big Saturday night late game against the Golden Knights. I think that's going to be a big one. I think that's a suit night for sure.
Kind of got to do it. You got to do it. There's no doubt about that. Hey, nothing says Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen sandwich like a vest. And that's what you're wearing right now. That's what a man eats. Well, he eats a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Available on DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Uber Eats if you're one of those people that hibernate during the winter here in Edmonton. Now open at West Edmonton Mall as well. Tommy, down at the ring today, buddy. What's going on with the Oilers and Kings? What do we got?
All right. Nothing major, really. I know Fogle was up on the second line with Hyman and Draisaitl, so expect that today. When the Oilers and Kings face off. And Holloway, I know we've talked a lot about like his minutes and what should happen with him, but for the time being, looks like fourth line for him. We'll see how many minutes and shifts he actually gets this game. Murray in for Niemelainen, Dusty, and Skinner starts in goal. And the old 12-6 as opposed to the 11-7 is anticipated for this one.
All right, so there you go. Nothing too crazy for the game tonight against the Los Angeles Kings. It's a big game with the way that, like, Tommy, the Kings have been. We kind of expected the Kings to sort of build on what they had last year, and this is not a team that has some of their younger guys. Like, they're not forcing Byfield to play right now. Turcotte is still in the American Hockey League. Yeah. Like, they've got these bigger pieces supposedly coming, but right now they don't need them. Like, they look once again like a playoff team, don't they?
They do, and that's despite the fact that they've had a pretty tough grind in terms of scheduling and no real days off. Talking to Bill Ranford, he mentioned like they're not complaining, they're not making any excuses, but the fact of the matter is, like, since day one of training camp, there's been very few gaps in the schedule where you could take a day or two off or go easy. It's been like game day, non-game day, game day, non-game day. And they've done quite well so far. And, adding Kevin Fiala is great. They still have some excellent players that are veteran guys that have been around for a long time. It's a good, tough team to play against. And I fully expect Edmonton needs to bring its A game to have success against the Kings tonight.
Retro jersey night as well, Tommy. And I know you've been, and we've talked about it because you've been all over this, teasing it from the very beginning. Kings are just wearing regular ones tonight? Is it retro on retro?
As far as I know, they're just going to wear their regular away jerseys. I didn't see them wearing any chrome helmets during their morning skate, so no throwback jersey for them. Retro on retro would be pretty cool, though. I was talking to Darryl Evans. Cool. Yeah, Darryl Evans, who was part of the Miracle in Manchester, scored the game-winning goal against the Oilers. Great guy. There's a guy that was wearing a three-piece today. He looked really sharp. Of course.
One of the most well-dressed guys in the league, isn't he?
One of the nicest guys in the league, too. Absolutely. Yeah. One of the well-dressed guys in the league. He actually demoed or modeled their reverse retros with the classic gold and and purple. And he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, they should make them the jerseys full time. I agree. I completely agree. But yes, we're going to see the McFarland jersey make its maybe triumphant return. And I don't have to bug the Oilers equipment managers about it anymore. They don't have to give me shit for bugging them about it. And whenever I get something wrong or slightly off, they always give me the gears. And now that finally comes to a peaceful end tonight when they wear those jerseys. And I think they're going to look good. Honestly,
I'm trying to figure out, like, so far, I'm not a huge fan of the base color because it's too close to the jerseys that I really don't like. Yeah. But I think the sprinkling of white, like the fact that there's some white in there, is going to make it look very much better than the jersey that I absolutely hate. I said this morning on my show, I said right now from what I've seen from like a picture of it here and things like that, I'm like a 7 on it. If I like the way they look in it tonight, maybe it goes up to an 8 or a 9. I don't think it falls below a 7, but there's some potential here. I got to see it though.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get a full grasp of it tonight. If you play NHL 23, you can see it there, which, gives a good idea of what it'll look like in its complete layout. But you got to keep in mind too, it's a 1 season thing, and next year there's a new jersey supplier coming in. The Oilers aren't changing their jerseys again, don't worry. But in the cooker right now, 2 years from now, is a new third jersey. I've heard and been told that it might be inspired by the mid 90s to early 2000s copper and blue. Like there might be some of that in there, but they could change it. Those things, they go through cycles and they evolve over time, like we saw with this reverse retro where there was a white design of it that never came to fruition as well. So jerseys, man, I'm a geek for them, and they're a lot of fun to talk about for sure.
All right, let's get into your Boston Pizza Appetizer, and we will be live on location Tuesday, November 29th, probably firing up around 5:30 or 6. We'll lock in the exact time. We'll get it out on socials. We're going to be at that Calgary Trail Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
Very popular Boston pizza. It's been there for a long time. And yeah, we're going to set up right in there. I don't know if we'll be back. They've got like one of the team rooms there. We'll be over in the lounge. That's probably where we'll be set up, unless we set up some type of little event or something in the team room, which we could kind of possibly do. I mean, that's something to consider, an invite only type of thing or something like that. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, that's where we'll be. It'll be Tuesday night after work. Again, we're going to do another evening episode at the Boston Pizza on Calgary Trail. I keep wanting to call it St. Albert Trail for some reason, but it's a Calgary Trail Boston Pizza, and we'll get all the details on social media. But I'm looking forward to hitting up another location, buddy.
I am too. They're a lot of fun, and I think it's been a good success so far. So come on out, hit the happy hour. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, happy hour every day, 2 to 5, and then again from 9 until close. Appetizer today, Warren Foegele getting a chance here. They had Holloway there to start on the road trip here. Foegele slides up, does some good things in that last game, going to get the look alongside Draisaitl and Hyman. And you and I were talking about it on the Smash Hit Nielsen show earlier today about like when Yamamoto comes back, what happens to Foegele, how long can Foegele stay there? And, we didn't get to it, but a few guys texted in after and said, Dusty and Tommy, why does Yamamoto automatically get to go back in the top 6 if Fogel's been playing better and had a bigger impact so far this year than Yamamoto, Tommy? So, like, what's the leash on Foegele in the top 6, I guess?
Yeah, and that's a good point by our listeners because, I think when we discussed it this morning on your show, it was under the assumption that Foegele will just be a stopgap for a few games, and maybe he has a good look or two, and maybe he gets a point. But if he does have success, then I assume you just keep riding him until it kind of tapers off, and that's more than okay. And then when Yamamoto comes back, he's been dinged up all season, has not been producing. I know he's had a few good moments, but for the most part, he's been under the gun from the fan base, and understandably so because he hasn't been producing in the top 6. So the situation would have to be the Foegele would kind of be okay, and Yamamoto would be cleared and healthy, and then he could slide in. But if, like those listeners who texted in this morning said, what if Foegele catches on fire or has a nice stretch where he's really given that line?
Yeah, you're not taking him out just because Yamo's back.
Yeah, and that's fair, and that comes back to the way we discussed it this morning, and that was under the assumption that a few games for Foegele, he's a stopgap. They'll probably switch it up at some point. But if he plays well, there's nothing to say he can't stay up there.
Well, the one thing that Fogle has going for him is, let's say Yamamoto gets back. We know Kane's going to be out for a significant amount of time. I don't think the coaching staff or anybody would have an issue with throwing Yamamoto back up with McDavid and moving Jesse Puljujarvi back down to the third line with McLeod. And in that case, I mean, Fogle could stay where he is on the second line if he plays okay, right? So it's funny because now with Evander Kane out, you're looking at 2 spots in the top 6. Holloway doesn't look like he's going to get one of those spots when he's got the mistakes. So basically you've got Fogle, Yamamoto, and Jesse Puljujarvi rotating to 2 spots in the top 6 right now, which certainly isn't ideal, but it's a great opportunity for all 3 of those guys.
The opportunity, like you said, the window, the foot in the door, however you want to describe it, it's there for him. And, talking to some people around the Oilers, like Warren Fogle wants to be a top 6 forward. We can scoff at that as media or fans of the team, but now all of a sudden he's thrust into that position.
Well, buddy, this is his best chance to do it, isn't it? Like when else has he had a chance to play in the top 6, really?
I think he had a brief look up there at some point last season.
Like last year?
Yeah, and obviously it didn't really pan out. But here's another chance for him. Seize the moment. You've been in the league for a while. You've proven what you can do. I don't expect him to go out there and double his point totals or anything like that, but be effective and show that you are a good option for them up there from time to time.
That's your Boston Pizza Appetizer. Check out Appy Hour daily at all of your Boston pizzas from 2 to 5 and then again from 9 until close. That's right, 2 Appy Hours at Boston Pizza. This is a huge week. I know they only have 2 games, but they're 2 really big games, Tommy. You get the Kings tonight. They're ahead of you in the standings. You get the Golden Knights on Saturday. They're ahead of you in the standings. If you drop both of these, you know what the conversation is going to be in this market. Oh, the Oilers aren't on the same level as the Golden Knights as the Kings. If you split them, okay, not bad. That's what you should do. If you can take one from the Kings now and then beat the Golden Knights on Saturday, all of a sudden I think the conversation changes significantly. So even though it's just 2 games, it's 2 divisional games and 2 pretty darn important games right now for this team.
Yes, it is. And you're right about the rhetoric that would follow should they lose both, should they lose one of them. That is natural, that type of conversation and saying, hey, this team's not there yet. And that's probably, if that's the way it plays out, and that's a fair statement that would be made. But I wouldn't put too much stock into it, even if they go 0-2. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for them. I just think that there's so many ebbs and flows to a season. Teams can get hot, missed opportunities, stuff like that. But I'd like to see 2 good showings from the Oilers. I think you're going to get 2 good showings from the Edmonton Oilers. The Golden Knights and the Kings are going to give them everything. And it's funny, Todd McClellan today, when he was talking to us prior to the game, said that he's like, there's a lot of false milestones in a season. And he's like, American Thanksgiving's one of them. The calendar flipping to the new year is another one of them. He's like, those are like false milestones in the season that people write about, discuss. And quite honestly, it's fun to talk about those, and there's statistics behind them.
It's nice to give us markers to sort of look at, right?
Exactly. And so be it. But I think the Oilers will do better than going 0-2 against these 2 teams. They're going to have to play like they did on Saturday, but I don't think it's the end of the world if they drop one of them, both of them. And I do think they're going to have some success here. But that is the natural flow of conversation. It's just part of being in this market, which is hockey mad, and people dissect this team through and through, and rightly so.
I mean, I do look at it. If they drop both of them, which I don't think they will, I think there's a split coming here. I think they'll go 1-1 against these 2 teams. And I think the loss might be tonight and the win is against Vegas on Saturday. But anyway, if they do drop both, they're 9-9. That's a 500 hockey team that just lost to the 2 better teams in the division to them. Yeah. So if you're playing 500 hockey almost a quarter of the way into the season and just dropped 2 to the Kings and Golden Knights, I think it's more than just a discussion. Like I think fans in that case would have reason to be legitimately concerned about the team. Because we can say they're going to go on a heater, but they've already gone on a 5-game heater this season, and they'd still be 500, right?
I don't like at this point in where they are in their development as a team and where they should be. Like 9-9 is not where they should be, but there's been good teams that have struggled even into November so far this season. who I fully expect to turn it around and wake up. I mean, we're watching St. Louis go through some rocky times. Pittsburgh, I mean, what the hell's going on with the Calgary Flames? My goodness. I fully expect teams like that to also crank it up at some point. And another interesting thing, listening to both coaches the last 2 days, is games 15 through 25. This is where the herd starts to separate, and this is where the elite teams take off. The teams that maybe got off to a hot start tend to fall off, and the shift in balance kind of rights itself in the NHL. And let's see what happens here.
All right, let's get to Cool Bet inside the numbers. And actually, because it's a game day, I'm going to give you a little Oil Stream slick pick. Stay cool, bet responsibly with our partners at Cool Bet. There's a couple of bets I like. You can get all these right now. Go to coolbet.com. If you've not yet signed up for an account, use the bonus code. Just use the bonus code LOCKSHOP when you sign up. Snag that one. We don't have an Oil Stream bonus code to sign up, but sign up with the code LOCKSHOP if you do go sign up. A couple of things that I like. It's tough getting the value on McDavid and Draisaitl points right now. I mean, they just score so many. It's kind of ridiculous. One guy on the other side I don't mind tonight, Philip Deneau, minus 114 to get a point, and that's a good defensive center, going to be out there against the Oilers' big guys. And, I mean, the Oilers' big guys are prone to turn pucks over at certain times. So I don't mind Deneau to get a point tonight at minus 114, but my official Oil Stream slick pick of the day, Connor McDavid, over 3.5 shots. It's not a great value. It's only minus 143. If you want Leon Draisaitl over 3.5 shots, it's plus 100. All right, so I'm going to play it safer. Connor McDavid, over 3.5 shots tonight at minus 143. If you look at McDavid so far this month, here's the shots that he's had in the game so far. 8, 4, 5, 5, 5, 3, 4. So he's only been under this 3.5 total one time so far this month, which is why it's at minus 143. But Connor McDavid needs to get 4 shots tonight, Tommy. I feel like that's a pretty good bet.
I think he'll get those 4 shots, absolutely. The Deneau pick, I would go with that. He has a penchant for scoring against Edmonton. He gave them all kinds of fits in that playoff series. He's a good player. I really appreciate what Phil Deneau brings to the table. That was a good pickup.
Just feels like he's gotten a point coming tonight. You know, I feel like he's got a point coming tonight. So
and
there's good value on that.
I can't wait to see him get a point, maybe multiple points, and then the Oilers, if they drop the game, people, that's the guy they should have got. What were they thinking?
Of course. How's this guy not here, but Nuge is? I mean, I could see it happening. You know what? If you want a little bit better value than McDavid over 3.5 shots, which is minus 145, Jesse Puljujarvi to not get a point tonight is minus 139.
I would take that bet in a heartbeat.
Which is pretty good value at minus 139. I'm like, damn. So basically, if you bet $100 or $10, say you bet $10, you would win like $7.10 on top of your 10. So you win like $17. Or you win $7, you get 17 back. So I'm surprised that it's not a little bit of a bigger number, to be honest with you. So I might have to fade my guy tonight. Make some money off it, buddy.
The guys over at Cool Bet that are making these props and stuff, they've clearly watched Jesse Puljujarvi's last stretch of games.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, I don't know if they have. I feel like that should be like minus 190, let alone minus 130.
He had that one game on the road where his puck touches were confident, it was good, but then the next game it was just like
there was one game where it looked really good, and then the next game it looked really bad. So, not good at all there. All right, Tommy, what time you get going on TSN 1260 tonight, buddy?
Hey, 6:30, we go on the Don Wheaton GM on White pregame show. We have this new thing called the pregame show.
I heard
it's
the other
Walker
day.
Postgame Ranger. It's like a mishmash. They do a good job with it. But we're going to have Johnny Rosen on, who covers the Kings. He'll give us the scoop on LA, and then Matty Cassian, and then some audio as well. So we'll get you set for this one. Late start again, 2 8 o'clocks this week. The Saturday one's kind of nice because it's a big game. The Wednesday, it was nice to see the TNT crew here. Talked to Eddie O a little bit, said hello to him and all of them. But 8 o'clock on a Wednesday when it's cold and crappy out.
It's not going to be a packed house for the retro jerseys. Let's just say that. In fact, this is the exact reason they probably dropped the retro jerseys in there right now, try to get a few extra bodies out. So, Tommy, I have you covered post-game as well, so make sure you listen to that if you're on your way home from the game. We'll have another episode of the Oil Stream on Friday, breaking down the game from tonight and getting you ready for the Golden Knights on Saturday night as well. Tommy, we'll talk to you then, buddy. Get us out of here.
Yes, sir. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button. Oil Stream loves you, baby.